Hello, everybody. How we doing? It is 6:02 at, what is this? November the 27th, a Monday. Hope your Monday went well. Mine was pretty good. Before we go any further, I just want everyone to know that the high-pitched squeal that you hear in the background that's really, really annoying is not you coming down with tinnitus. It actually has to do with the shitty mic that we got. It's all right. I mean, it's a good mic. It's better than using the computer microphone, but it's not great. And we don't like that. We're working on it. We will have a solution to it by next episode. So, I mean, if this is driving you crazy, you can wait a week, get it then. Or you can listen to this. I'm going to have Adam Telfa and Stephen Feldman, both very, very funny dudes on the show today. So I hope you listen. Thank you very much for your support. And, your service. Really your service to the community and the podcast world by being a listener. That's it, I guess. Enjoy the show.
There'd be more of us than there would be dancers.
That's probably true.
Alright, we are recording now.
Alright, here we are. We have Adam S. Telfa. What's the S stand for?
Sohail.
Say that again.
Sohail.
Sohail.
Yeah, but I mean, if you see my dad in the street, you call him Sam.
Ah, okay.
Oh, that's your dad's name?
It is.
Gotcha.
And we have Stephen Feldman.
So hail.
World of
All hail.
Shalom.
What's up, guys?
What's up? So yeah, we usually just stick around. I usually don't like to introduce people because it's really awkward, but now we can just
you get a name out there and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even do my hey guys. How's it going? Shit.
It's okay.
Wasted opportunity.
I have a call out to do for Mr. Feldman. You signed my poster for the Olivia Grace event with your catchphrase, "Hey guys." I didn't realize you had, and then I got it, and I went, he signed this with his catchphrase.
Yeah.
Did you sign your own
Seinfeld doesn't sign things with his catchphrase.
You go to the bank, like whenever you sign your stuff on the bank, you're like, hey guys.
It's just every memo line.
Everywhere.
Is just, hey guys.
Hey guys.
It's like, please put your initials here, HG.
How's it going?
I didn't even intend.
It is HGHG.
I didn't intend on that being a thing. Like it was just we did the laugh off one month, and it just so happened like that was how I started my set. So I just started doing it at the beginning of every little improv segment. And I was like, is that how I do every single show? And I was like, it is. I'm just gonna make sure that's consistent from now on.
It's really
When did you realize that? Like August?
Oh man, I've been doing it for almost a year. It's like one of the early laugh offs that we did, which we just did the 12th one, right?
Was it at Riki Tiki Tavern? Freaky Tiki Tavern?
Freaky Tiki Tavern. Yeah, that was exactly where it was. Yeah.
That's awesome.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Mine was wonderful. We spent it with the in-laws. We were there for...
At Moleshoe?
At Moleshoe, Texas.
Which sounds like a made-up place.
Isn't it next to Sudan?
It is. It is right next to Sudan.
Not the country.
Muleshoe, another third world country. Muleshoe was cool. Actually, it was really funny because when I lived there, it was like all white people, right? We went to the McDonald's with my father-in-law like the morning of Thanksgiving because he likes to go in and get one senior coffee and like just hang out and fart around with people because that's like.
Do they get free coffee?
Well, so they do senior coffee, which is like basically free coffee, right? So we went in and he's just like this funny dude, and like people see him coming and they just kind of like either run
Like, yeah.
or they're like, hey, that guy, you know what I mean? So he just like,
oh, this guy's here. It's getting crazy. Time for some senior coffee.
Fucking Ricardo's here. So we went in and
This is your in-law?
Yeah, my father-in-law. He's a really funny dude.
Your wife's father.
Yeah, he'll always like I told him last time I said, hey, I've been doing fucking stand-up. He's like, oh my god, I've got so many jokes for you. And so he just started dumping his jokes. Like there was one joke he told me, and it was like you could tell it was like old school Mexican. It was like misogynistic, but like also really funny, you know. And I was like, I could never use this on stage. Like, it would get me no way.
What's worse? Whenever you tell somebody you're a comedian and they're like, all right, tell me a joke, or whenever you tell somebody you're a comedian and they're like, I have jokes for you.
Oh, fuck,
tell me a
that's
joke, because they're just like, I don't get it. What do you mean? Like, I just get mad on stage. I don't have jokes. You probably have jokes.
I have a bunch of jokes. Yeah.
Tell me.
I go, your face. That's the joke.
Do the street joke. Just pull out a street joke.
Yeah.
You know,
if I could do the duck bit again, you
When
know?
I have a perfect riddle for every single time
Ooh,
they ask.
what's your
Every
riddle?
single time they ask, it's my go-to. Like, oh, you want to hear a joke? Well, this is it.
Hi, diddle do.
I always say, what kind of dogs does the NSA use to keep illegal immigrants out of the country?
What kind of dogs?
Border collies.
Oh.
It's gross.
There's
It
that
hurts
Hannibal-
me to say it.
Dude, there's that Hannibal Buress bit that's like, you're a comedian, tell me a joke. Like, I'm not, like, show me your tits if you're gonna show me a joke or something like that. It's like, my jokes are better than your tits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got him. I wonder how many times that's worked.
And he's like, then he like tells her off, and he's like, probably could
Could
have
have told the joke season
Could've-
titties.
could have told the jokes. Probably was worth
Maybe you could have given up. Like a joke's not hard to give up. You know, just
Yeah.
try. You know. So anyway, went to the coffee shop and hung out with him, and then McDonald's. It's just weird that old people refer to that as the coffee shop.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So anyway, my point in saying all this,
Back, you're saying McDonald's is the coffee shop?
Yeah, yeah.
McDonald's is the
Like
coffee
you go
shop.
in and you get yourself a cafe.
That's right. You go in and you get yourself. Well, they get like a senior coffee, right, which is just literally a drip coffee that
small
costs
black
50
coffee.
cents. Yes. And then they go and they sit down with a bunch of old, like, haggard Mexican dudes who've just been working in feedlots for the last 25, 30 years, feeding 8 kids, you
I
know?
always wondered why I saw so many old people in the morning. Now I know.
Yeah, you know, dude. That's where they go.
There's a hole in your story. I thought you said it was all white people.
Okay,
It used
this,
to be.
this is the story. It used to be, because I used to live out there, right? And it literally used to be all white people. I go into this McDonald's, and I am literally the milk in the flies, to use the old Spanish expression, right? Like, it was bizarre. I had to speak Spanish the whole time I was there, right? There was...
Did you really?
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
Did you have to give your order in
Do you
Spanish?
speak Spanish?
No, I'm about 40% fluent, right? So I can get along and I can have about a 5 to 10 minute conversation. But like, for instance, the other day I was talking to one of her cousins and like he was talking about the fucking ocean and being like a sailor and I was like, I know no words about this.
So it's like you'd be
He's
like,
using like
Barca
port
is
and
the only,
starboard.
like mar, barca, and pescado are the only fucking Spanish words I know about.
so it's like whenever you're
ships.
discussing the news, the most you can talk about is the weather. Once they talk about like nuclear war with North Korea, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm
whoa,
out.
whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoy es,
To be fair, I wouldn't know sailor terms in
frío.
English. So
sailor term starboard. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Which one is
Like Mexican
starboard?
person in this room. I don't
Yeah,
know any
yeah.
Spanish whatsoever. I'd be lost at coffee. Like I'd be like, what?
I think port. I
Un
think port is
cafecito.
left.
That's all you gotta know.
There's
Un
port right.
cafecito.
I don't know.
I assume port is where the port is. I just don't know where.
I know what orale is. I know orale.
Orale is good. Andale is really good. Like andale is like the one that they say after everything.
Underlay?
Andale.
Like underlay
Get
vista?
on it. That means fucking get on it, bitch.
Like
Andale.
I only got
Like-
Spanish from grandma and it was siéntate.
I like that more.
Vamonos.
Fucking Wayla Spanish is really great because it's so abrasive. It's good.
Yeah. Can we just talk about how nice it smells in here?
Yeah, it smells like a delicious
You got
Yankee
potpourri on your
candle.
clothes.
Oh, do I really? Aw. No, I don't know what. I think it's paper.
And then you're like dressed already, like as if you're ready to go see your.
Yeah, are these your
wife's
work clothes?
Yeah, this is my work attire.
These are my
I have-
work clothes.
Okay, so for those who can't see us, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
literally every one of the listeners, I have
Everybody
one.
who can't smell it, what it smells like.
We do a podcast
Smells
about.
like daisies and daffodils.
We're gonna call this the Intangible
all,
Podcast.
all of the senses that don't work in podcasts.
It smells like cinnamon and potpourri and a playground in here.
It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
dude, it
used to be
tastes
hot.
like it smells. That's how it.
It
That's
tastes. You licking the table?
Yeah, this
Yeah, yeah.
mahogany is really good.
What about you guys? I'm sorry, I hogged the conversation about
Oh yeah,
Thanksgiving.
your Thanksgiving was mostly black. I was there.
Oh yeah, at night. Yeah, I went to JJ's during the day. Who's another comic here, and his
How was
wife's.
that?
It was dope. His wife's a cook at LCU.
Oh
And,
sick. Yeah,
she-
he told me that.
She made ham, which was dope, and turkey, which was everything was good.
It's awesome.
Sweet potato or potatoes,
Stuffing.
mashed potatoes, no stuffing, which is my
Really?
favorite. R.I.P. stuffing,
Okay.
and then some
Interesting
some
choice,
sweet potatoes.
Miss
Did you have
JJ.
tamales and rice?
I did not. There was not a Mexican
I thought she was
Thanksgiving.
Mexican.
Well, she is. But you know what we have in Georgia? All right, so in Texas,
Peach
or-
cobbler.
yeah, well, yes, but I saw like, you know what 538 is? They do like statistical analysis. They said
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like
Yeah, it's
this
like-
region, like Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, like has more cornbread at Thanksgiving than other regions, and then like the Southeast has more mac and cheese, which I never thought of. Like I was like, oh yeah, we always do have mac and cheese
That's
at our
all right.
Thanksgiving dinner.
I love a baked mac and cheese. I gotta do a baked mac and cheese.
Baked mac and cheese.
Yeah, that's classic, dude.
Is that like a mac and cheese casserole?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like just mac and cheese, but like you make the mac and cheese,
Yeah.
and then you put some
Right.
layers of provolone, and then you do
Oh.
some more mac and cheese on the top, and then you do some Parmesan and mozzarella to like cover it. And
Jesus, that sounds like fancy, man.
Ooh, it's very, very nice. I hadn't had it until probably 2-3 years ago. I can't remember whose house I was at, and they served it, and I was like, what is this fucking drug that I've never heard of? It's so many carbs, but I loved it. And then
It's
we
like
had that.
8 cheese mac and cheese.
Yeah, and then we had somebody this year at work make it for a party, so I was thrilled. I was like, this is fucking
Must be a
amazing.
Texas thing. I don't know. I guess
I don't
y'all
know.
heard about it.
What about the weird looking Jello pudding? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's green colored and has marshmallows in it. And
Yeah,
and
that's
apples.
gross, isn't it? Is it not?
I actually really like it, but I'm very white, so I don't know.
I used to get that in like cafeterias when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's the other place they'd serve
I
that.
have no clue what you guys are talking about.
It's just Jello with it's like fruitcake but with Jello. It's
terrible.
gross.
But I love it. I'll eat it up every day.
Never been to a Luby's? You don't?
I mean, like when I was like 5, I was.
Hockaloogie at the Lubies. That's
Yeah.
what I always say.
So yeah, we watched the Cowboys lose and the Lions lose. I don't know
Boo.
who else played.
Wait, shouldn't you be a Falcons fan?
I am, but I mean it was on. We watched it. Falcons won.
My fantasy team lost, so I'm thrilled about that.
We did too. Or we.
We, my boys.
Me and Philip Rivers lost.
Telfa, how was your Thanksgiving?
Pretty good, pretty good.
What does Thanksgiving consist of in the Telfa house?
Like at home or here?
He was here, right?
Wherever you were, I don't know.
I mean, at home usually my mom, she's white, so like I get all the cranberry sauce and the turkey, smoked turkey, mashed taters. Here though, I had it with a whole bunch of friends, so it was a lot of hummus, a lot of Arab people.
Cool.
Yeah.
People without a home. Did you bring anything?
I brought a potato salad that none
Did
of
you
made.
like
It's good.
bring it from the store? Did you make it?
I told them I made it, but I brought it from Walmart.
I appreciate the honesty. I like that. I have a friend, and his wife's Pakistani, and he was like, "Yeah, they just tried to simulate what a white Thanksgiving would be like." It's like, "What do you mean?" It's like they made no fucking Pakistani food. It was all like American dishes. I was like,
It's pretty.
Is her family here?
"Yeah, they live in Dallas. So
Okay.
like they live in Dallas, and then she goes to Tech. She's like an assistant professor or something."
Yeah. You bring her up a lot.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I hang out with like her husband's like one of my best friends. So he's been there before. You've met him. Daniel is his name.
Okay.
We hung out. You remember me, Clayton? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. So anyway, so that was your Thanksgiving, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was funny how you're talking about like the whole like Pakistani thing with the American culture.
Uh huh.
Because my mom, she's been married to my dad for like 23 years now. I think something like that, 22, 23 years. And like every year, little by little, she becomes more Arab and he becomes like a little bit more white. And at the
Switching
beginning-
places?
Yeah, like at the beginning of like my childhood, my dad will my ask for something stupid I would do. Now he's like, don't do that. And my mom is on my ass.
I think you're just getting
hilarious.
older.
Maybe
That's
that's the
probably
case,
what
I
it
don't
is.
know.
My
That's
dad doesn't
hilarious.
spank me anymore. It's normal.
This is not a cultural thing. This is everyone.
Wait, you guys aren't getting spanked?
What about you, sir?
Pretty
Mr.
weak on the
Feldman.
food, I have to admit.
Do you have
This
your
is-
family?
no.
here? You've never spoke about your family.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm.
It's because he doesn't speak
They
to
don't speak
his
about me
family.
either.
Oh.
We don't
Uh-oh.
speak much, no. But no, they're great. I hang out with my family all the time. I see them most of the time.
So you're there with them for
But
Thanksgiving?
yeah,
Your-
dad faked sick so that he could go home and watch TV. So he bailed out pretty early.
Where were you at?
We're at my sister's house and my
Okay.
brother-in-law with their 2 kids, and then mom helped make. We ate lunch, but they started the turkey late, so the turkey wasn't ready. So no turkey on Thanksgiving. We just had ham.
Did you have it eventually?
No,
They just had it on their own.
No, we all just ate.
Turkey.
We ate everything else, and then everybody was so full. We were just like, "Fuck that turkey." But yeah, no, it was kind of weak.
Did you
like,
make anything?
I did not make anything.
Did you?
I didn't know. I didn't prepare a thing. So it was kind of
Telfa's
nice.
the
though.
only one. But none of us made anything, but Telfa's the only one.
I didn't even help
I
with
don't-
dishes.
I didn't either. I was like, I should offer.
I mean, I have to admit though, I went back home with more than I took.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
I
such
totally messed
terrible
up.
people.
Didn't do that. I rushed out because I didn't realize we've been hanging out playing
Bro.
Battlefront for so long that I had to.
Oh
like,
my god.
And it was like
I
6.
was like, oh shit, I got the show. We gotta go. Like,
Yeah.
So,
So,
what do you think about that show?
Yeah, so
6
let's talk about
was
this. So
All Lives Matter, put on by
80 Studio 806.
yes,
Studio 806.
Black Lives Mafia.
yes, and Black Lives Matter.
so this is
EXO
the
Tour
group of,
Life.
like, how many comedians performed?
A ton.
Oh man, I want to say there was
A lot.
18 people on the show,
18
and not
people
all
on the
of them were
show.
comedians.
It was like the Wu Tang.
Not all of them
Wow.
stand up. Like
Yeah.
maybe like 6 were stand up.
What did the rest do?
Like acted out, like improv stuff.
Okay.
They basically bit the style of
Wild 'N
Wild 'N Out, you know.
Okay, yeah, all right.
But I got there early because I was like, I'm gonna help them set up. They're obviously going to
Because
help
you
put in
don't want
chairs and stuff.
like people facing the wrong way and shit like that.
I wanted to
You
make
want it
sure
nice
all
and
the
close.
all
Right.
the chairs were facing the right way and everything.
That was the first thing I noticed when I walked in because I think I was the first person there after the performers. I was like, oh, is the setup nice? And Steven's like, yeah, I did that. I was like,
It's pretty dope that like the red carpet, you walk in and the fog machine and everything's like dark and it's kind of like
They went all out. They had a red carpet. They had red curtains. Like usually when you walk into the Depot O bar, it's a metal bar.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
bar that's set up for metal shows, so it's
Yes.
black and dark and smoky and kind of gross.
Yes.
And you walk in and they have like a VIP section with like
Golly.
tablecloths and like tall tables and like big red curtains everywhere and like they've plastered gold stars and sparkly things all over the
Jeez
walls.
Louise.
And it was just they went completely all out for this show.
Who
was
set
like
it up? The bar?
Everybody from that Studio 806 and stuff, and then I
Black
just
Lives
like,
Mafia.
helped them.
I would assume it's probably like Nikki, I would guess, and I don't know who else is in that crew. I don't know. I don't know how those dynamics work.
I can't say her name because she goes by Mean Mugga, like with an A at the end, and it still feels really racist for me to say.
The way you said it
She's a
sounded
mean
like
mugger.
a 1950s, like,
Well, like,
no, it was
I-
very weird.
I
Leave
pronounce-
it to Beaver's dad would pronounce it differently.
I pronounce it with like an ER at the end of that word, but I know I can't use an ER at the end of that word. So I avoided saying her name for the entire time that we worked together. I was like, hey, man.
I just called her Mugga. I was like, yo, Mugga.
You know what I realized
Yeah,
was.
see, that's how you're
Oh, I
supposed
like
to say
that.
it.
Do you know what I realized? Like, there's like a magical slur in Harry Potter, which is like Muggle. Like, it's just, it's like it's like the N word.
It is a slur.
It is.
Well, they do Mudblood too, which is a slur.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty. That's definitely J.K. Rowling going for some Hitler shit right there.
I don't know.
That's
I
what
feel
she's
like that
doing.
transfers over into regular everyday life though, because there have been times where I was like, yeah, I'm totally a mudblood just because I'm mixed race. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it. And then I was like, I'm a half-blood prince.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that was my favorite book because of that name.
I like it.
Or the Phoenix.
And then
No,
you grow up and you
Phoenix.
realize you're not a prince. Your life is just as shitty as everyone else.
Prince Ali minus the genie and the
Yeah.
magic carpet
Or Aladdin.
and the little monkey.
It's really funny.
But yeah, that show was fun. It had good vibes. Probably should have gone a little light on the karaoke. I think. I think Telfa probably had the best karaoke. I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you play karaoke?
I did Hooked on a Feeling.
Oh man.
I think that karaoke should maybe be like 15 seconds. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah,
like
that's the whole
like a
song.
chorus.
play
I
off
got
and
bored
on.
after like halfway through the song. After,
Yeah.
after that, I was like, I don't know what actions
You
I'm.
should have just walked off the stage. It would have been perfect.
Yeah. I just started looking at like people in the audience and licking my lips to the song.
Yeah.
You know, like, lips as sweet
Licking
as
my
can
lips
be.
to this song.
Yeah.
You could have gotten off stage and like walked off onto the tables and just started doing some like,
Throwing stuff.
you know. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if my mom would be too proud of that.
squat
Was
down
your mom
on the
there?
table.
No, she's definitely did not fit in that crowd.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
But that was fun. Steven, I think, went first. Y'all both did good.
Technically,
Because
I
it was like early in the
supposed to
night.
be second, but Joe Cash went up and did some random skit, and then he was like, "I gotta get off stage and change clothes and come back on," and they were just like, "No."
He did
and
walk
they just
in.
introduced me.
He walked in with like, you know those big like Chinese rice hats? He
Yes.
was like carrying all that stuff, and I was like, oh, what's gonna happen with Joe Cash?
He did some
He's
karate.
going crazy.
But yeah, no,
Joe
I've
Cash,
never
the
been
Lubbock
so
Samurai.
happy. I've never been so happy to go up early on a show
Yeah.
and like just.
Because everyone was paying attention because they all paid $15 to be there.
I don't know. Overall, I think the show was pretty fun. I think it was really fun. I would do it again.
I would too. But I don't know. It definitely had some hiccups.
Sorry, I
It's
missed
fun.
it. It started at
That
10,
was,
right?
that was brutal for Caleb because he didn't know all the words. Like they were like, "Is there gonna be like a screen?" And they were like, "Yeah, dude." And then there wasn't. He was he was like trying to learn the entire Beastie Boys song before he went up.
I was surprised at how well he did. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
he listens to Beastie Boys on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I think he was just doing it to be ironic because of the fact that we were the only two white guys.
Maybe.
And then you, but you don't count.
What are you talking about? You're just as white as I am.
Yeah.
I'm only half white.
Well then, okay, there was
Yeah.
only two white guys, but we were half of
Yeah,
each
exactly.
of the white
Right.
guys.
That's really great.
2 puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, there is 2 white guys and a half Mexican, half Arab.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's 1 and 2 half white guys. That's what it was.
Yep.
Very cool. And then the next show, the day after that, was the
Italian
Olivia
show.
Grace
Was
show.
you? Well, both of you.
Both of us.
Friedman and
Eric
So
Friedman.
how did that?
Olivia Grace.
How did you not hear you were opening?
Okay, so let's tell the whole story. So I was told on Sunday that I was going to be on that show, right? I was like, oh, cool.
At the Bar PM show, yeah.
Yeah.
Our
So
birthday. You were working.
I was at work, yeah.
So it was at Bar PM, and Caleb, the comic union dude, he comes up to me and he's like, hey, so I want you to be on this show with Olivia Grace. I'm like, baller, this is fucking awesome, right?
Three.
How much time? 10
Dunk.
minutes. Holy shit, I'm an open micer. I'm used to 4. Like, this is excellent, you know? So I get that, and I'm like, cool. So I'm super excited about it. I'm like, who else is going to be on there? And he's like, oh, I think we're going to have Feldman on there. We need, like, high energy guys to kind of go up and, like, you know, pump people up for it. I was like, sick. So I'm like, you know, excited about this. And I'm just like, you know, Feldman, he's got like he's probably thought like a weeks ahead of this thing, right? He's probably like already well aware of this happening and everything. And so I, of course, forget completely about Caleb organizing it. And then the day of the event, message Feldman, and I'm like, hey dude, so like what time does this thing kick off? And he's like, oh, I didn't know, am I on the show? And I was like, well, that's what Caleb
Plot
told me.
twist.
So
And again, I'm at work, so I like a bargain and I like get this girl to cover my tables. I'm like, you can have all the tips and everything. I was like, just these people are cashing out. Just take that tip too. Just like I'm gotta get out of here immediately. So I like bail. I drove across town from World of Beer to.
Is that a good deal
Backstage.
for her? Is she like pumped about that? Like
Oh,
sweet free tips?
She probably made like $80 off of me. I had so many tables, and she just got all the money that I'd been working for that whole
That's amazing.
time.
for
And,
7 minutes of time for Olivia Grace.
Worth it.
It's worth it. So worth
So
it.
I hauled ass over there, get there, and it's like it took me 11 minutes to get across town. It was the fastest I've
Yeah.
ever driven.
Yeah, I saw you. You were like out of breath. I was like, did you run here?
Might as well have. But like I got over there, and so I try and throw together a set, and I asked Caleb, I was like, how much time am I doing? And he's like, oh, we're gonna do 7. I was like, why the fuck did I get off work early? Like, I'm gonna do 7 minutes of work. But
Well, but then by that point we'd already found somebody. So like we got Durbin to come in
yeah,
it's
Durbin was like the backup.
yeah,
And so then we ended up whatever time I was gonna do, we just I guess
Split
split it.
three ways.
split it, yeah. And so I think we just everybody gave a little bit, and then so like
Durbin killed.
Yeah, Durbin slayed. Everybody did pretty well.
I think that was the best that I ever saw Durbin do.
It was really
Yeah,
good.
I've seen him on fire several times. That guy is one of those guys. Like he might not always kill it at the open mics when he's trying out his new shit, but he's one of the most consistent comics.
Yeah.
When you put him on a show, like you can almost guarantee he's gonna do well.
I love his fucking Steven Seagal bit. It's the best, probably one of the best jokes in the whole big right now.
Got some.
Steven Seagal, yeah.
Got some claps on World of Beer.
Yeah, it sure did. The
Tilted
Seagal
World.
thing always lands me in. Seems like even at open nights it does pretty well.
Like, it's like one of those jokes where once you do, like you start it, you have to like commit to the bit. You have to finish it. There's no
Yeah.
like stopping halfway through.
Yeah.
It's that's it. Like once you start skinning that deer, you finish.
Yeah.
Well, like I mean,
Does someone want to do a shitty rendition of the Steven Seagal joke?
I don't even know.
I
What
I
would
mean,
butcher
you get
it
the
beyond
gist of
belief.
it. It's like Steven Seagal got arrested, and then it's just like,
Under Siege 1, Under Siege 2.
yeah, it's each of his movie titles, which I don't know any of them though. But it's like he's gonna be a dangerous man. We're out for justice. That kind of thing.
That thing.
It's a joke that writes itself.
yeah.
Yeah, because you just
That's
pull
good.
out the titles and then.
Well, it's
Yeah.
a lot like you have the one about
Broadway musicals.
Broadway musicals.
Which I think
like,
I'm gonna draw
I did
now.
a cat AIDS.
I think that's done.
You didn't like that? Let's move on to the next show. So
I think
then,
that's done.
then Olivia Grace went on and she did 30 minutes of like the funniest fucking comedy. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
I was literally going away from there, going like this, because she did a bit where she was like,
That was
in
the bit that I stuck with
Oh,
me.
yeah, don't forget Friedman, because Friedman went up too, and he was also.
Oh yeah,
really,
he
really
also
hyped.
slayed. Yeah, they both did amazing, but it was really, really funny. So, and even like the next day, I was going around. One of Friedman's bits is like, you know, anything sounds better if you just replace like stomach with tummy, you know? And he just took like any disgusting thing you could possibly do to another human being and just replaced one word with tummy, you know? And then it softened it a little bit, you know?
Yeah, shot in the abdomen, shot in the tummy.
Shot in the tummy.
Funny.
It was really good. And then the next day we had the World of Beer show, which is Lubbock's like big monthly show. We had like, what, 100, 200 people there?
At capacity, it's 230, so I guess it's
Jeez,
like
it was
230.
past capacity.
We were
let me
past
tell you.
capacity for sure. I would say that was 300 people in there because
Golly.
I work there now, so I've seen it. And like, we never have that many people standing up in the back. You guys probably didn't even notice because
No,
of
it's
how
too many
deep
people.
the room is. But the entire back room, as well as the entire like behind the bar area, like where the chairs are, that was full of people that you couldn't walk through.
Unreal.
I've never seen it like that. That was probably one of the biggest ones we've ever
I know
done.
we're backtracking, but that whole tummy
Yeah,
bit,
sure.
that whole tummy bit kind of reminds me of Bethany White's gobble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like it's a funny thing, the whole gobble thing.
Bethany White's
that's-
bit is, she just replaces the word with
Gobble.
gobble, and then she goes
Eat with
like,
gobble.
Eat with go.
yeah,
Yeah.
eat with gobble, and then the joke is like basically like,
Her boyfriend wouldn't gobble her out.
yeah, it wouldn't gobble her out. Yeah, that's a joke. So
But it's
it's a classic, and it always does well. Like her stats always do pretty well. They're always land.
The best part about that joke is that she knows it's kind of cheesy, and she'll make a face after she drops it, and people laugh, and she'll go like, go to her notebook and go, and then when people are done laughing, she'll go like,
It's such a ballsy move, though. I love it. So that was a huge, huge crowd. Like it was a lot of fun.
it was me, you,
Caleb,
Aaron, Chris,
Timothy.
Chris Hobart, Timothy, and then Randy headlining.
and
Wes Nessman we got
Wes
back.
hosting. Where was he last month?
He does the Nightmare on 19th Street, all the Halloween stuff, so he kind of dropped out and did that for a little while, and I guess we only did one show in the 2 months that he was gone.
yeah.
Where did we get that stage?
Chris
Because we
Hobart.
put it in.
Chris
Hobart's,
Hobart
I
made
believe.
it.
Oh, well, we put it in your truck, right? Were you giving it back to him?
No, okay, so it was
just,
at Caleb's.
They just left it. Yeah, it was supposed to go back to Caleb.
and
It's
I
at Kendall's
picked it
now.
from Caleb. And then I
The
looked
one
at
that
it
we
and-
used, because me and Caleb put it in your truck, is what I'm talking
Yeah, and
about.
I dropped it off at Kendall's today, so like
Oh.
that stage it's everybody's stage.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's-
What did Kendall need it for?
He didn't need it. I needed to get it out of my truck because I'm getting kicked out of my apartment.
Congrats.
Yeah, so I need the back of my truck to put all my stuff in.
Yeah, you're gonna be listening to this podcast, like 2-3 years from now, in your mansion, being like, "Yeah, I finally made it." This is
Remember when we did that podcast and I was homeless the next day? No big deal, guys.
because
homeless
look at me now.
anymore.
I'm on a whole new level.
2
I'm on
years.
another. I don't even remember this long.
I'm getting deeper, bro.
I don't know. It's been a terrible day for me. This is long.
I'm willing to bet mine's worse. I'm getting kicked out of my apartment.
yeah, I can't.
I can't compete.
Yeah, I can't compete.
I stubbed my toe. So Timothy killed. I knew. I don't know.
The
Like
syphilis bit.
they love. They just want race and dick and pussy. Like they just want the raunchiest,
It's a bar scene.
dirtiest.
Kills, man.
What
I was kills. I left and like I got some pretty big laughs. Like there was a couple times where the room was really laughing. You did too with your improv shit.
Oh yeah.
But like it was when I left. I was like, I should have done dick jokes. I should have done fucking shit jokes. I should have done some
Exactly.
race
because
jokes.
because Wes opens it up with a period joke, and it's just like, well, anything that's not about periods is.
Well, he goes around and he preps the room. The host literally goes around and he says, "Are you ready to say some bad words like
Yeah.
fuck, like shit, like goddamn?" Just goes around.
hilarious whenever you
don't know.
looked at that couple and was like, "Did you guys come together?" And one was like, "No," and the other was like, "Yeah." They talked to me. Did you guys sort that out? Did you guys
That dude listens
so
to this
much fun.
podcast now.
Yeah, he's one of our official
We're like, you
listeners.
need to come subscribe.
So we had to go to his phone. It's like, no, haha is one word.
Yeah.
We changed up the way
great.
that we pick the winner now too, which I like. How we just went with the audience.
Oh,
Which is the way it's always supposed to have been.
That's a little
When we
nerve-wracking.
When we first started, it was judges, and it seemed like it was pretty biased. And then we just, I guess, let the host decide at one point. And then I talked to Wes for like the past few before he left, and I was like, let's talk to the audience and kind of get a feel for what they think
Yeah.
after the show, and then come back up and.
Well,
announce
number
the
of
winner.
cheers is the way it has to go. Because like that's
Yeah,
like
it's way more honest. But
Yeah.
I remember even then, like I would go up and I would do all my Jew jokes, and then like Rainey would go up and do his bit, or Joe Cash the time he won. Like I remember Wes coming up to me and being like, yeah, everybody I asked was either like the Jew or the black guy. Like, everybody in the audience
That's
was
amazing.
strictly there just to hear
Jew or
racist
the black
humor.
guy.
The Jew or the black guy, like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a mostly white crowd. They like to hear racist humor. I
Yeah.
did that show last month, and I did the whole Donald Trump joke. They did not like that. They
Didn't appreciate
did not
it.
sit well with them.
I did Hillary Clinton material that landed really well. They loved that. Oh,
very
I could shit on that bitch all day and they would still listen to it. They would love it. I have like 15, 20 minutes of Trump material, but like I can't use it anywhere.
That's
like,
the most conservative crowd that we have, right? Like
Yeah,
everyone
that's
else
very
is like
conservative,
hip and
yeah.
liberal. That's like pretty just middle of the road
That's
people.
like that's like rich white people. I don't ever see anybody in there that's not there to spend money.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
that
it's
place is-
expensive, dude.
It's expensive, yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
that's
it's-
true.
That $100 bar tab we get doesn't go very far.
no.
That's why I always try and get there early.
It's nice, man. I really appreciate it. Like, it's just a fun gig. Like, it's a big crowd. Like, and I came home, like, the next day and I started watching Crashing, which I don't know if you guys have watched that or not.
Pete
but
Holmes.
yeah, it's Pete Holmes' show on HBO. And, like, he's just showing him trying to do open mics in New York and stuff with, like, 5 people, you know? And I was like, shit. Like, sometimes the opportunities we get here are ridiculous compared to what people
Oh
have to
yeah.
fucking
No,
fight
you.
for.
No, yes.
Like somebody who's been doing comedy for
Yeah.
3 months, getting on a stage with that many
Yeah,
people,
that's and getting paid for it
fucking
is
ridiculous.
insane.
Another thing about that though is that's not a comedy show. You know, it's a variety show, and it's not real stand up. And I love doing it, but I would so much rather we have that same crowd show up to see one of our real comedy shows.
Yeah,
you know?
sure. We'll come out and go see a fucking open mic night. But I don't know about you, but like I've seen more and more people who come literally just to see the open mics.
Well, and it's because of the World of Beer
weird.
show.
Yeah.
We have a bigger draw because of all those people that are like, wait, I didn't even know we had a scene here in town.
People that are funny
And
in
it's
Lubbock. It's
fast
crazy.
paced, and the way that it works out, people kind of need more because it's only an hour. We
Yeah,
we
yeah.
run an hour tops every single time.
No, there's a lot of loyal fans, dude. There's this couple, Sabrina and Kelsey.
The 2 girls. I thought
Yeah.
they were your friends.
I mean, they are now. They're
Yeah.
It's Selena, isn't it?
Selena.
Yeah. So
Selena.
But
I
they
might
never
have-
laugh.
might have botched
Or at
it.
least
I
they
don't
never
know.
laugh at my stuff.
If you're listening to this,
they're
you know
very
I'm talking
serious.
about you. I apologize for botching it. This is Adam Telfa. 4 other comedians.
But they're very quiet. But they dig it, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they were at all 3 of the shows over the weekend, right?
Yeah, they were. They were.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
And
It's
they were
really
at
cool.
Tuesday. No, they weren't. But last week they were. Has there ever been talk about turning backstage into a showcase and maybe doing like Bar PM as an open mic or something like that? Just backstage is such a good venue.
Yeah, it is nice.
I
would
like
agree with the
having it
stage
as
being
an-
good.
I don't know. I like having it as an open mic. To be honest, I like the fact that it's a stage and an open mic because there's no other open mic that has a stage.
Yes. That's
Well,
very
and
true.
it is
Did
also
RPM?
it's the last open mic of the week, you know, because we do that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday thing, and so we do you can kind of warm up your jokes that you wrote over the weekend, kind of iron
Yeah,
them
that's
out on
what I do.
Wednesday, and then really have them polished by Thursday. But another thing is Thursday night's real inconsistent with the crowds because some nights it'll be a
Yeah.
packed house, some nights it'll be 4 audience members.
I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know, I think it's a beautiful thing. I really do.
You think so? I guess
Yeah,
so.
it's kind of like it's like Seven Spice. It's not on everything, but with certain things it is.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh. But it's like it's just a thing. I say Seven Spice.
Spice. Yeah.
Or it's,
He's like, stop talking.
yeah, it's terrible. I don't know why you can say Seven Spice. It's more like cinnamon. I don't
No,
know.
I think it's great.
But yeah, Kimothy killed. Pussy, white people cooking.
Yeah, man, that stuff always works, and he did good. He's got like incredible stage presence too.
We also, I mean, we gotta talk
Yeah, he
about Rainy,
does.
too.
Awesome. He's just like a fucking beast. Like he can just like roam like.
I guess how long
prowl
has he
the
been doing
stage,
that
man.
like
It's crazy.
white people cooking pussy joke? Like a long time?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't see everybody all the time because of my work schedule, you know,
I
working
thi-
in a restaurant. I don't get to go to every single mic and stuff.
I think it's
Yeah.
easier to have if you have material that you know works, I feel like it's easier to work on your stage presence. If that makes sense, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
'cause you're like,
Yeah, it does.
Sure.
I can try out different stuff on stage physically or with my voice or doing other shit if I know if my jokes work.
Well, I mean, one thing he has that a lot of other comedians lack is confidence.
Yeah.
And when
that's
you have
true.
confidence going on a stage, I don't know the crowd. Like the crowd, they
respond,
really,
man.
They respond to that and they enjoy that.
God,
And
that's
to be able
so
to go up there, you can literally, with confidence, go up there and be like, I have no teeth. And people are like, ha 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 ha, even if you do have teeth, just if you say with the right confidence, right delivery.
Well, he also has time on his side. I mean, he's been working at it for a while. I mean,
true.
you guys are all, I mean, y'all are all relatively new comedians, all three of you sitting at this table. Like, I've been in this just 2 years. I'm still a baby in comedy. Like, I feel like I don't know anything about.
How long has he been doing it, Timothy?
I want to say he's been around just as long as me, if just a little bit less. I mean, I've been seeing him since early on in my comedy career here in Lubbock, and I mean, he's gotten infinitely better. And just like I feel most of the comedians have gotten so much better over the past 2 years that I've been watching everybody.
Yeah.
We have a really high bar. It's kind of I hope it's a rarity, but I mean everybody's gotten so good. If you were listening to all of us 2 years ago, like you'd be like, what the hell is that shit?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Come on, sharpen up.
Well, it's weird, like, looking at, an open mic list and being like, well, I can't follow that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think that during an open mic, but then you're like, well, shit, I'm not going to be able to, like, if he goes out with that thing, I'm not going to be able to follow it. You know what I mean? It's not going to fucking land, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird. So I have this thing I want to do on the podcast, and it is the one thing that I'm not doing right now that I should be doing right now. And it's everybody says one thing that they're doing, reading, listening to, be it podcast, book, music, TV show, whatever, that people need to be doing. Like, it's just something that not everyone's talking about, but, like, has to happen.
That I'm doing or that I should be doing? Or
No,
something
no.
I'm doing that you need to be doing.
This is good we're having this discussion now. The thing that you're doing that I should be doing.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So I wake up. Well, I have in the past 2 weeks, so I should be doing it too. But for like 7 weeks or whatever, I wake up 15 minutes early and I just write jokes that I see all my. Well, that's lame. But I like the ideas that I have. That's when I write. Usually, and then sometimes throughout the day. But I'll just for 15 minutes, like set a timer, 15 minutes, and then have one of my premises, and then do it.
Go with that.
And like people, like I know, like Kendall's like, dude, I can't write. Like just fucking sit down and do it. Like because like throughout the day I won't. So if you just do it first thing in the morning, it's only 15 minutes, and it's like literally like 2 minutes of material. And if you do that like for the entire week, you've got like 14 minutes.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to write the grandma joke?
10 seconds. I don't know. I've had that in my pocket for like 5 years.
I used that one time. I wish you used it more often. It's kind of like it could just throw it off.
That's such a dumb joke.
That's why it's perfect. That's the best jokes are fucking dumb.
You want another dumb joke I wrote today?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, thinking about buying a computer, a Dell. When I do, I'll be rolling in the deep. Get it? Because Adele. Stupid.
It's very cheesy.
Oh, no.
It's not on par with the grandma joke.
Yeah. Well, that's a dirty one.
Oh,
I
man.
think if I have another dirty one.
Yeah.
So what are you doing that we should be doing, Telfa?
So, Jayden Smith came out with a new album.
Ooh, Jayden Smith.
Listening
First-
to Jayden Smith.
Was it deep?
Look, you guys you're thinking, oh, like he's Will Smith's son. He's not. This kid is talented.
That's not even what I'm judging him by. I'm judging him by the
Yeah,
fucking
he's weird.
Twitter things that he posts.
No, he's
That's what
weird.
I was thinking.
He's weird, but he's like good weird.
How do we know trees are real?
He's good weird. I promise you. This album, creatively.
Creatively?
Creatively. I'm sorry. I mean, I haven't had breakfast yet.
Jesus.
7:38 p.m.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I swear to God. Like I've just been writing essays and studying for exams.
Sounds
And anyway, so like this album, every song that he has transitions into the next song without you even like realizing you transitioned.
What?
And like
Seamless album. It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
yeah, and the way
you
he
heard
does it, like he takes material from so many different artists and like makes it his own so well.
What the hell?
Is it good, Steven?
Yeah, it's pretty fire. I mean,
So you listen to it, or
yeah.
It's pretty illuminated
Syre?
family.
I have a cousin that is like a huge hip hop head, and like I love old school hip hop, and like
Yeah.
I really reach back for music, but he really like reaches into like
No,
the
I mean,
new. And so like we get together and we just like jam all kinds of tunes all the time. It's pretty fun.
I would consider myself a bit of a hip hop head. Like I try to keep up with the latest thing.
How old is he, Jayden?
I don't know, like probably
12.
19 or 20, maybe like that, like around that,
Yeah,
that
it's
age.
gotta be.
Whatever happened to
Small,
Willow
but
Smith? Whip my hair back and forth. That was a hit.
No, she's coming back in a bit. She was actually featured on Kid Cudi's newest album.
Oh really?
I heard she wrote an album, and it's the opposite of Jayden's, and it's just very abrupt endings to every song. Just like boom, song ends.
Well, I mean,
Boom, song begins.
I think like one thing that like Will Smith did with his kids, like I guess Will Smith and Jada Pinkett.
Smith.
Smith.
See Girls Trip?
No, but I think like one thing that they did with their kids is that they knew that they were famous, and instead of like trying to control them, or whatever, they kind of let them do their own thing, blossom into their own thing.
That's cool. It's like the Kardashians.
I mean,
And then they made After Earth. Fuck.
Except for that, I don't know what they were thinking
That
about.
was cool.
It's a terrible movie.
It's like
Dad,
Scientology, the movie.
But I don't know. It's I think they raised their kids right.
Is it just two of them? Willow and
No. There's like 4 of them, I think. 3 or 4. There's one older than Jayden for sure.
Wait, there's another one?
Yeah, like the oldest
I
one.
hope his name is something normal like Greg.
Isn't it a different mama? Doesn't Jayden
I think so.
and Willow are both?
I think it might be a
Jada's,
different
and then
mama.
there's
I hope Greg Smith's thing is that he's in a spelling bee. Like he's a very fierce competitor in the spelling bee. Greg Smith.
No, but his oldest son is like pretty low key. Like he doesn't do much.
Sounds like the
Just
oldest Uno
rolls
brother.
around in money all day, just like I love being Will Smith's son.
It sounds like the oldest ill brother, you know, Kim Jong Il. Like his
Yeah.
oldest brother is just a big Eric Clapton fan, and he's called like his brother refers to him as the woman man because like he literally doesn't do anything. He just like goes around listening to Eric
Mentioning
Clapton
North
shows.
Korea.
Oh, fun.
Okay, so what Asian country do you think eats the most dog?
Dog?
It's the most dog.
Well, are you saying like per capita?
China.
Like
No, it's South Korea.
what?
You wouldn't even think South Korea eats it.
Uh-uh.
Well, I mean, okay, look, this is just hearsay. I heard it from a Vietnamese guy. So it's not even off
Of course you
Wikipedia.
did. No one is more racist against other Asians than other Asians.
Yeah, that's right. But
My brother's Chinese. I know he hates Japanese people.
it's
Hates
crazy,
them.
like Vietnamese people are allowed to go into North Korea. I don't know
What?
why they would.
Oh,
but
because
they're allowed to.
they're communists,
Yeah.
right? They're commie
okay,
bros.
yeah.
And then you know it's crazy. On the news a couple days ago, these North Korean fishermen they got stranded in Japan on the coast of Japan, and they were like, no, send me back. They said send me back. Is that like what's that
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm? Yeah, is that the Stockholm syndrome, or
What?
do they generally want to go back home?
I mean, I'm sure there's some people that like. I know a lot of like. We actually talked about this on the podcast already in the first one we did together. But like, I went to China. A lot of like the media here is like kind of blown out of proportion. Like they're like China's human rights issues.
So
You
there's no
can't.
like smog.
There's a little smog, yeah, but it rained. It was pretty smoggy when I got there. Then it rained and took all that lovely smog and put it in the water supply.
Good. Where it should go.
Yeah, so it was clear after that.
I agree.
But when I first got there, it was like
That's
red.
fun.
It was like in constant sunset
Good for
mode.
them.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that it's their supreme leader. You know, just like some
Yeah, the
people
moon and the stars.
dig Trump, some people dig that. You know.
So
Okay, but
much.
like, do they
Some
believe
people
it or
love
are they
Trump.
afraid?
Yeah, I
So
mean,
much.
Trump is some people's
It is
shit.
crazy.
Yeah.
Trump is like a
Like
drug
where they'll
for some
defend him
people.
against all logic.
Nick, I was reading this article about him. Apparently, Melania didn't want to be first lady,
Really?
and Trump was talking to her and was like, "Honey, you should run if you want to, because if you don't run, you're just going to be thinking about it all the time." And he ran just because he just felt like running. Like, he didn't even want to change
What?
anything. He just wanted to run.
That's crazy.
See if I can do it.
Well, as Michael Jackson said, if you want to make a change,
Beat it. I'm just kidding.
it's so close though.
He does tell that story a bunch. He does say
One day I
you know,
just
my
started
wife
running.
told me if you run you win, and so I ran.
Yeah, and like this isn't like just like hearsay. Like this is the article I was reading. It included like Roger Stone. He's one of
yeah.
the biggest people in
Roger
Republican
Stone, man.
Party that like
Did you
gets
watch
Republicans to win.
Oh yeah.
He is crazy, dude. Like
Roger Stone is like fucking. You can't not listen to him. He's
Yeah.
so like out there. He's like
And
he
it's like
seems
you love
evil.
him by
He
seeing
seems-
him.
But he seems evil.
that's why you love him.
Yeah,
love
because
him.
he's like just a fucking. It's like listening to the ultimate bad guy, dude. There's just no.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
real life supervillain.
It's like
crazy.
listening to Saddam Hussein if he was conniving and white.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Did you ever
a
see
lot.
that video of Saddam Hussein where
You should use that joke. That's really good.
that is good. Have you ever seen that video of Saddam Hussein. I don't know how big Roger Stone is though. I don't know. Like I don't think you know. You were kind of like, oh.
Pretty big, especially among conspiracy theorists. He's really big.
Yeah.
It's like in the 80s where he has the coup, and then he knows like some people are trying. It's like right after he has the coup, and he knows some people are like stirring to like try to get him out, and then so like suddenly like a bunch of people confess, and I think not even people that were even in on it, but like
Oh, it's like
They were
shot in
like-
their parliament or whatever.
yeah, and they like suddenly people were confessing like it was me, like I'm so sorry, and like 50 people to 100 people, and
He just like
and
purges their
yeah,
democratic
and
system.
he just like points, and then they just get let outside, and they're all
Shot.
That's crazy, dude.
All right, Feldman. What's one thing that we should be doing that we aren't right now?
God, I don't know if I'm doing enough. Just listening to you guys, like I have no idea what's going on in the world. I just sit
You're
at
getting
home.
laid, right? We
Is
should
there a new
probably be doing
album?
that.
Is there
Yeah.
anything?
Definitely have more sex. Drink a little bit more than you're used to. Smoke some weed. Do some blow. Pop a Molly on your birthday. Don't take
I've
Xanax.
done none of those things.
Okay, no Xanax. That's the only
Now,
substance.
is this advice coming from?
Things that I'm doing that you shouldn't be doing. No, honestly, right now I've been really lazy. Like I haven't been writing. I've just been polishing because I know that I'm about to move, and I know in a new city I can just do all of the material that I've been doing because no one's heard it, and it's all gonna be fresh. And I have like 3 hours worth of comedy that I can just start at square one and see how it goes. And
Yeah.
so I'm kind of trying to pull out some of the old jokes and polish them up and make sure that they're nice and fresh for my visit to new places. And
When do you finally
Are you gonna?
I listen to a lot of recordings. I don't know if you aren't recording, you need to be
Yeah,
recording
yeah.
your sets every single time.
I definitely started doing that on your advice. Because
I
it makes
needed-
life a lot easier trying to fix bits. Because you're
Yeah.
like, this is why this part of the setup is so important.
And then, or sometimes you just you get lost in your bit and you say something out of place or whatever. And yeah, it's easy to.
I need to dump mine on the
No,
computer.
I've never been able to do it though, like the whole recording thing. I've tried it a couple times, and then like halfway through my recording, I'm like, I'm bored.
It's so funny.
I don't know.
Just
I always-
can't listen to
I
it.
always hit them as soon as I listen. I hop in the car after I leave the show and I listen
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
recording for the night just to see kind of how it feels and.
Because you don't know when you're on stage, like because you write off of because there's been shows where I go, oh that was terrible, and then I go in and listen to it, and I'm like, actually it wasn't that bad. Like I got a couple
I have
of
the
laughs.
opposite effect.
And then
Well, I
other
was-
times I listen to it, I'm like, I killed, and then you're like, well, actually your best joke got 0 laughs. So
I wish I had recorded the Thanksgiving show because I didn't get to listen to that one again, and I feel like I destroyed. But I did listen to the show we did on Friday night, and there was a lot of stuff going on in the room that I could hear that I wasn't paying enough attention to because I was so caught up in my act. And a lot of times it's good to, pay attention to I don't pay attention so much to me as I do to the audience and like when they're laughing, what they're doing. There was a phone that rang. Some girl started shaking up a drink during this part, and I didn't stop. And like there was definitely some pausing and some timing issues in that set that you can really I don't know. You can
Yeah,
hear
they were blending in that show. They were blending.
I fucking hate the blender.
it's very annoying. It's very annoying. The one thing that I'm doing that I feel like everybody needs to go do is find the library, the email newsletter, and go fucking subscribe to it. It's the best. They send you a Spotify playlist once a week.
library?
The name of this email newsletter is The Library, right? It sends you 5 photos from a professional photographer every day that you've never heard about, but are just the most beautiful, intricate photos you could possibly see. It sends you 5 news articles that you aren't going to hear about anywhere else, but they're going to get you up to date on like the best news stories. And then it sends you a playlist every once in a while that has like just some incredible bands that you aren't going to catch anywhere else. It's absolutely amazing, and it's 100% worth subscribing for everyone.
You getting paid?
This podcast has been brought to you by The Library.
There was some dude. One of my
Subscribe
Uber,
online at thelibrary.com.
One of my Uber drivers I got in and he had a ooh la lattes thing
Ooh la
in
lattes.
his thing. I'm like, are you getting paid for that? And he's like, yeah, I get free coffee. It's like, damn,
That's what's up.
nice.
I've never understood the concept of ooh la lattes. I mean, and again,
Don't either. I was like, don't you want?
I don't think I understand any concept of anything that involves just women at a restaurant or.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. The Hooters thing's never made sense to me either. Like the Twin Peaks thing, especially. It makes less sense though when you're doing coffee because it seems like you'd want to be there and like I don't know, look around for a little while. You know what I mean? Instead of just be like, here's your coffee, go.
It's weird though too, like to sit.
I mean, it's quick. A cup of coffee, that's a quick little thing. It's not a meal, and also it's
Yeah.
like titties. It's like, all right, cool. Got to see some titties.
I don't like-
got a cup of coffee.
Quickly.
I went
Good
to
morning.
Hooters for the first
Again,
time.
it's dollar per dollar. It's about the same value, isn't it?
Yeah.
I went to Hooters for the first time like a week ago, and because they had all you can eat wings. Okay, they had all you can eat wings.
Hooters, man. It's the
The thing is, I went there though, like I felt dirty, like just
Yeah.
being in there. Like I didn't even want to look at them. I don't know. Maybe it's like my parents raised me right.
Look
I
at
don't know.
them.
That's why you didn't want to go to the strip club with us after we did this
Want to throw a burqa
podcast.
on.
He's just sitting in the corner, just like looking at the floor. Girls dancing on him. He's like looking over his shoulder, like, oh yeah, cool.
What'd you think of their wings? I hate their wings. People are
Honestly,
like,
the
I'm
wings
looking
weren't
for
that
their
bad.
food. I'm like, their
The
food
wings weren't that
sucks.
bad, dude. The wings weren't that
False.
bad.
The buffalo chicken sandwich at Hooters is one of the most dank chicken sandwiches I've ever
Yeah,
had.
dude, their
It is
wings-
so good.
I love the, like I don't like I love B-dubs, but I hate their rubbed wings.
Mm.
The rubbed wings at Hooters rub you the right way. They're just
I like how you said that. I like how you segued that in. Guys, we are officially 50 minutes into this thing. Do we want to wrap it up?
yeah.
How are we feeling? Good?
Sure.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Okay. Thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you for having us over at your podcast.
She's looking right at Feldman. You're
No
welcome.
problem. Anytime.
That was, thank you for having us over.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
it
was fun.
Awesome.
I
We'll do it
enjoyed
again
it.
sometime.
I enjoyed it as well.
Bye.